In 1896, on a cliff where veins of copper and magnetite ran through the earth, Sebastian Crowell, an inventor and occultist, began construction. He studied the works of Faraday, pored over ancient manuscripts, and sought a way to merge science with forgotten forces. The mansion was not just a home. It was a living organism built as a resonator, a vessel designed to absorb aging, suffering, even death itself. Sebastian discovered a way to transfer the decay of his own body into the building. The mansion aged, cracking, peeling, fading, while Crowell remained young. But in return, it demanded energy, a synergy of electric current and human soul. The life force of people, drawn through hidden energy nodes, embedded in the foundation and walls. Thus began the mansion's eternal service. It aged instead of its master, rejuvenated with every soul it consumed. Sebastian no longer feared death, but the mansion needed more souls. Always. There was always a price to pay. After completing the construction of the mansion, Sebastian Crowell moved on to the next phase of his plan, finding victims. He began sending out fake job offers, small repairs, house maintenance, servant work, restoration tasks. The letters reached people in desperate circumstances. Some had lost their jobs, others drowned in debt, and all of them clung to the promise of good pay and free lodging in the house. They came alone. Sometimes in pairs. They stepped through the mansion's doors and were never seen again. Sebastian greeted them like a gracious host. Warm tea, a calm smile. No one sensed danger. Not until it was far too late. Rumors spread throughout the region, and people began to whisper all sorts of things. But no one went to the police. They feared the noble name of Crowell. Daniel Nord was a simple carpenter. After his wife's death, it was as if he stopped breathing. He had loved her with all his soul. She was his light, his anchor, his true home. Her loss came not like thunder, but like silence, dull, cold, and all-consuming. For a while, the world faded, but he didn't let himself fall. His 5 daughters, his beloved girls, looked at him with trust and hope. Though steady work had vanished with the last construction site, he rose at dawn, worked his hands to the bone, took whatever odd jobs he could, just to keep bread on the table. He never complained, never cried. Only at night, when the girls were asleep, he'd sit alone in the dark, clutching his wedding ring. But all that effort wasn't enough. The bills kept piling up. The jobs kept disappearing. Sebastian Crowell always knew who to choose. Desperate people were the easiest prey. The letter sent to Daniel Nord was perfectly crafted. Polite, detailed, generous. It offered him a chance to restore an old mansion in exchange for a substantial payment. Enough to erase all his debts and start over. But most importantly, Crowell allowed him to bring all 5 of his daughters. He even offered them free lodging in the mansion for the duration of the work. To Daniel, it felt like salvation. For the first time in a long while, he saw joy in his daughter's eyes. They left together with suitcases, toys, and hope. The mansion seemed odd but sturdy. Sebastian welcomed them warmly, with care and courtesy. The first few days passed quietly. Daniel worked, and the girls played in the garden. Newspapers of the time were filled with bold headlines. Sensation. Body of Sebastian Crowell found. The respected inventor and philanthropist was discovered dead in a forest in a neighboring county. The official version claimed it was a tragic hunting accident. According to his relatives, Crowell had gone to visit his brother for a few days, planning to rest and enjoy a bit of hunting. He was expected back in 3 days, but never returned. A search party later found his body in the woods, partially mauled, apparently by a wild animal. No one knew what had truly happened. Some speculated he had run into a bear or a pack of wolves, though such animals hadn't been seen in those parts for years. Meanwhile, another scandal shocked the public. Daniel Nord, the man to whom Crowell had offered shelter and work, had vanished along with his 5 daughters. Inside the mansion, investigators found signs of forced entry, damaged rooms, and empty storage. The official story: Nord betrayed his host's trust, looted the estate, and fled. A warrant was issued for his arrest. Decades after the disappearance of Daniel Nord and his family, classified documents were made public, revealing details that would forever change the story of the mansion. It turned out that all of them, Sebastian Crowell, Daniel Nord, and Nord's 5 daughters, had been found dead in a single room. The kitchen near the dining table. Sebastian had suffered multiple stab wounds, signs of rage, struggle, and fear. Daniel lay nearby, his throat slashed. Next to him were the bodies of the girls, neatly arranged in a row, as if asleep. Their faces were peaceful. No fear, no pain, not a single scratch. Official medicine couldn't determine the exact cause of their deaths. The Crowell family, fearing scandal and a stain on their name, acted quickly. Officials and police were bribed. A false narrative was crafted for the public. A hunting accident, a worker who fled with the children. The mansion was sealed, and the truth was buried under layers of silence and lies. But over time, all secrets eventually come to light. The mansion was built not only of brick and timber, it was held together by souls, energy nodes, hidden within the walls, invisible to the living. Everyone who dies within these walls becomes part of the mechanism. A soul, torn from its body, wanders the halls, touching these nodes, unaware, like in a dream. Each touch sparks a pulse. Each step fuels the system. The house feeds on them. Awakens. Daniel Nord discovered the truth too late. In the basement he found the records, blueprints, diagrams, and Sebastian's twisted journals. They all pointed to one thing. It was a trap. Crowell had poisoned them all, slipping death into food and water. In a panic, Daniel rushed upstairs. His children were already seated at the dining table. Sebastian stood at the head, smiling, calmly inviting him to join the meal. It looked so ordinary. Daniel grabbed a knife from the table and stabbed Crowell. Once, twice, again and again. But it was already too late. The poison had taken hold. One by one, the small bodies began to fall to the floor. No screams, no cries, just silence. Daniel's soul cracked. He couldn't bear what had happened. Without hesitation, he cut his own throat. Now, he is part of the mansion, a soul that found the strength to resist it. A soul that learned to ignore the tempting, glowing energy nodes. He roams the corridors, twisted by grief and guilt. He haunts, frightens, drives away anyone who crosses the threshold of this cursed mansion. Because all he wants is to make sure no one else suffers the same pain he once endured. With every touch, you nourish this place. Now its walls breathe in unison with you. Its gaze lives in your eyes. Its power lies in your obedience. You have become the new guardian, imprisoned within the mansion. People will keep coming. They will knock on the doors, with hope, with joy, happy, yet doomed.